What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Luke's Goldies. So in this video today, I am going to tell you guys how to make a good goldfish diet. So here we got Big Dom, we got Georgie, and we got Tiffany. And a really important part of keeping goldfish and keeping them in a healthy and good way to help them thrive and get big and fat is you got to give them a good diet. And today I'm going to basically go over the 3 really important staple parts of a good goldfish diet that you really want to make sure you hit to ensure that your goldfish is going to grow quickly, it's going to have a good digestive system, and it's going to get that little flavorful spice that keeps them going, keeps them active, and keeps them happy. Okay, so before we get into the video, I was talking with Olivia here, and for some reason she just kept telling me that she had a very important message that she wanted to let you all know before we got into the video. So she kept telling me, make sure everyone likes the video, make sure everyone subscribes. So I don't know why she wanted me to tell you that. I guess it's kind of important for like an algorithm or something. But yeah, Olivia said, definitely make sure you like the video, definitely make sure you subscribe. Thank you. Also, we're just transferring some goldfish around because I am going on vacation kind of soon. So I just wanted to change around the goldfish in my systems just to make sure that nothing gets too dirty while I'm gone. Okay, so what are these 3 main food groups that you're really going to be feeding your goldfish? Well, the first and most important one is their base pellet feed. You know, something that's going to really fulfill all the basic requirements in terms of nutrition, vitamins, minerals, protein, carbohydrates, fats. Something that's going to really get all the minimums and make sure they get everything they absolutely need. So definitely you want to have a good pellet-based feed. I'm going to go into specifics a little bit later in the video. The second most important thing is you're going to want some sort of vegetation. You're going to want some sort of plant. Goldfish in the wild, definitely they do eat plants. It's good when you're keeping them in an aquarium, definitely to still keep feeding them plants. So this could be, your broccoli, your spinach, your peas, could be a number of things. I'm gonna go into what I use, again, later in the video. And then the third most important thing I think that you're definitely gonna wanna feed, especially your fat goldfish there, is kind of like I don't even know what the name for this group would be, like live or frozen foods. And they'd be like Daphnia, it could be frozen bloodworms, brine shrimp, or it could be live. I think having like a softer, higher protein food like that is definitely good for the fish, definitely keeps their gut healthy and kind of keeps up the variation. And it's definitely good to have variation in a goldfish diet. Alright, so as I was telling you, you are going to want to have a good quality goldfish pellet feed. And my personal favorite and the one I've had the best experiences with is Mizuho feed. I actually have it, I'll have it linked down in the description to get 10% off. So Mizuho feed is great. I know that you actually, it's all, I'm not even sure which language this is in, but I was actually sent the ingredients list in English, and the vast majority of the ingredients, or I think around 75% of by mass of the ingredients is like krill meal and fish meal, and that's something that's something you really want to look out for when you're looking for a good goldfish feed. You want it to be a large majority of the ingredients, you want them to be basically a fish protein. And when you have a high protein food like this, you're going to get good growth and you're going to have the goldfish get nice and big. So definitely I love Mizuho feed. The good thing is it is a sinking pellet, and it is a slower sinking pellet. So you're not going to have everything boom drop at once. It is kind of slower sinking, so it gives the goldfish some time to realize what's going on before they're all stuck in the ground and sometimes getting stuck below the gravel. But yeah, this stuff is great. And the thing is, I would feed this depending on what you're going for. If you're going for high growth or if you're going for just maintenance, I would feed this anywhere between 2 and 4, maybe even 5 times a day, depending if you're really trying to push heavy growth. But for normal keeping, you could feed this twice a day, and this will just make sure they hit all their maintenance, requirements: protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins. This will get all of that. And I will show you a quick little video of me feeding this to my little fellas. It's funny, little Georgie here is always the last one to realize there's food. Tiffany's usually pretty quick to realize. Big John is just beginning to realize right now. Look at him go. He's like, oh, there's food, all right, there's food. But yeah, little Georgie, all right, now he's realizing. Now he's like, oh, there's food. All right, so in my opinion, the second most important part of a goldfish diet is the vegetation. You got to have some sort of veggies. And so you could feed a number of things. As I said before, you could feed broccoli, you could feed lettuce, you could feed spinach. I've had some people say they could even feed carrots. I think I've tried carrots with mine before. They don't really like carrots, but what I like the most is I like peas. And not only does peas kind of give them a little Hold on 1 second. These Tupperwares are a lot harder to open with one hand than they look. Okay, so not only do peas kind of fulfill that vegetation requirement in their diet, but peas also really help them poop. Kind of acts as like a little natural laxative. So definitely with fancy goldfish, which really tend to get swim bladder problems, peas are great because, you know, it's good veggies for them. They get good nutrition from them, good vitamins, good minerals, but also gets their system going, gets their poop out of their system, really degasses them. And if they're getting a little floaty and they're a little constipated, this is, you know, you can use this as a preventative measure to stop that from happening, kind of keeping the system constantly clearing out, or you can do it after the goldfish already starts to experience some constipation and swim bladder problems. But definitely out of any of the veggies, I definitely recommend peas. And here's the thing, the way you prepare these obviously don't look normal. I get frozen peas, I boil them, and then after I boil them and I feel them, they're very soft, I deshell each of them. So this little container right here, this actually took me like, I've already fed some of it before, but this little container here took me like 40 minutes to prepare. But it was higher up, it was like up to here before. But it's just boiled and deshelled peas. The deshelling process does take a long time, but they can't really digest the shell, so you do want to take the shell off. But this inside mushy part, this is really, really good for them. Out of any kind of goldfish supplement to their diet, you know, besides their actual base feed, I would highly recommend boiled and deshelled peas. Look at Joel go. Yeah, definitely want to give boiled and deshelled peas. It's really gonna help them poop. All right, so the third most important thing, as I said before, is some sort of frozen or live food, preferably, you know, higher in protein. So this could be frozen or live bloodworms. This could be frozen or live brine shrimp. This could be frozen or live Daphnia. All these things are gonna give you some good variation in the diet and give the goldfish, you know, a different source of protein. And, you know, if you can, it's always good to do some variation in a goldfish diet. It's gonna keep their gut healthy and it's gonna keep the goldfish happy. So definitely want to do that. What I use for the most part is omega-1 frozen bloodworms. Omega-1 also has frozen brine shrimp, I believe. I've used them for frozen brine shrimp before. And the nice thing about this is I believe you get, so there's one tray in here. You get 2 trays. I think I already used up the first tray, yeah. But you get 2 trays in this thing. And with tax, I think I got this at Pet Supplies Plus. It's only around $8, which really is not bad. For 2 full trays of this, you spend $8 for this, and this is a great addition to your goldfish diet. Really gonna keep them healthy, and especially if you're trying to simulate breeding, which I will be doing soon, not right now. If you're trying to simulate breeding, feeding these constantly will really kind of get your goldfish in that breeding mindset. So these kind of come in like little cubes here, and you can just plop them in your water. If you have a sponge filter, you can leave your sponge filter on, but if you have a hang on back filter and you throw these in there, I'd recommend turning your filter off while these, you know, unfreeze and thaw out and spill all over the ground, because they will get sucked up by that filter. And they begin to fall, and the goldfish will just go right after them. Nom 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 nom. All right, so those are the 3 main food groups that you want to be giving your goldfish to keep them nice and healthy. And so by the way, for the main feed that you're going to be using, it doesn't have to be a pellet-based feed. It could be a gel food feed. It could be a flake. You know, goldfish flakes are actually very, very common. The reason I don't really like gel food that much, I feel like it's too hard to consistently prepare and have ready for goldfish. Now, it is good for them, but if you're a busy person like I am, it is difficult to constantly have gel food ready. And as for flakes tend to easily kind of dissolve and get dispersed in the water, and I feel like they don't kind of stay together as much as pellets do. I feel like when you drop a pellet in there, for the most part, it gets eaten up. But little flakes, they easily get sucked into the filter. They easily kind of get scattered all over the place. And I think usually for me, what I've experienced when I first started keeping goldfish is that my water quality does not stay as good when I'm using flakes instead of pellets. So definitely, I like pellets the most. They're the easiest while also keeping the water quality moderately clean. And another thing I wanted to say, so for timing of feeding all these different things, I say definitely feed your normal feed twice a day. Just for your regular feedings, feed it twice a day. I think that's fine. I think that's good. Gonna definitely get them all the protein and stuff they need. For the veggies, here's the thing. You could, if you wanted to, feed peas every day, every other day. I don't think you need to. I think at a minimum, you do want to be feeding your fancy goldfish probably weekly. You want to be feeding them peas at least weekly. It's really good for them. it's almost too hard to overdose on the peas. Peas are great. If you do it multiple times a day, okay, maybe they're pooping up a storm, maybe it's a little bit too much. But definitely, I think you want to be feeding them the peas multiple times a week if you can, at least once a week. If it's really, really hard for you, once every 2 weeks, but you know, for the most part, the more the better. And as for the bloodworms, again, bloodworms aren't absolutely necessary, but I think they're good. I think they're a good additional supplement to their diet. So I would say you can't go wrong feeding them bloodworms weekly. If you can do it, if you can afford it, do it 2 times weekly. That'll be great. If you're trying to induce breeding, maybe throw in bloodworms daily. If you're trying to induce some breeding, definitely up the bloodworms, up the brine shrimp, up the Daphnia, whatever you're using. But yeah, basically this twice a day, the peas twice a week if you can, a little bit less if you can't, and the bloodworms again around the same duration, around the same amount of times, once or twice a week if you can do that. But if you do that and you do it in the correct measurements for, you know, how much your goldfish can eat in a set amount of time, you know, if they finish the food within a minute or 2, that's probably about a good size for feeding. If you do that, I think your goldfish will grow up big and healthy, so long that you keep the water clean, you have good filtration and all those other things. But yeah, thank you for watching my video. I hope this helps if you're trying to really formulate a good goldfish diet. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and you know, leave some questions down below. I'll be happy to answer them.